Finally, the session begins. Sorry about that wait, everybody. Left early 3 days ago because of the seizure. It was one of the worst ones. The fact that I'm able to string together a sentence properly without too much stuttering right now is honestly a godsend. And yeah, I had to, part of the delay was I had to briefly put my head under a cold faucet just to cool my head down, and also, yeah. Just trying to make sure that my brain's moving and put together. That said, if I leave partway through or even during the BRB, just to go ahead and grab that head wrap thing, which I finally found it again, for that same purpose. I understand that's probably what's going on, but either way, let's get some recaps out of the way for at least what the most part everybody can recall happened last session, last partial session there.
Okay. I see that Angel's water broke again.
Yep.
The placenta turned into a portal into space and sucked Bruce and Violet in.
You know, y'all would be able to hear my recap if I'm muted.
And we also ended up making a con save against a blinding light from another angel birth. That's all I've read. It all kind of just focused around Angel yesterday.
There's also a.
No, we went over Aegis getting his metal stuff, and we went and we got his stuff set off too. I will
starting
correct that.
to get started with that, and then shit went sideways.
No, we weren't doing that. We were doing Vincenzo and Victoria.
With Minestra.
We spent a good 30 minutes on Aegis and asking questions about the world and how it pertained to Avery trying to figure out how to put the world in his perspective.
Okay.
I do remember that because we sent what's his head off to Mechanist to get stuff done.
Piper is punishing for Warlock for 57 and counting deaths. Sent her off to go be a garden fairy for however many lives she racks up in weeks, and also to learn from her younger brother who has been doing a lot of the gardening when
Yes. Okay, so then actually that... Yeah, just about everybody at least had something small going before my brain decided to do what it does.
we were about to start with the next stuff with this,
Yeah.
Finestra's recap says, Angel gave birth, Angel had her nightmares suppressed by the Rusty God, Angel delegated tasks to family and children, Angel interacted with her kids/family, Piper interacted with her warlock, Avery asked Angel about getting armor made for Aegis, and suggested involving Reed, Angel directed him instead to...
Angel already said it involved getting stuff for Vanessa because we don't have...
Lit and Halcyon did some fun stuff.
I'm going to snap on that one. Okay. Vanestra, we don't have the technology for the stuff that you're asking to make for Aegis. Aegis, we don't have the stuff for Aegis because people don't make mechas here in this space. We're not at the advancement that your character is at. If we're going to mechanists so the world stays aright, at balance with itself.
Okay, starting with the session question, one that I actually don't believe I have rolled yet, so this is going to be a fun one. Okay, we'll start with Angel and Violet, and then of course move on down as necessary.
Okay, why don't you start with everyone else? Why don't you start with everyone else? I'm done for the day.
Going to BRB again.
Give shitty people shitty ideas. And I hope everybody knows who I'm
Okay.
talking about.
Now up front,
Okay,
and I'm
just
saying this
next
outside of the
section
BRB, this is 3 days out of, again, one of the worst seizures I've had. So,
In 2 months. We're gonna take it in 2 months. This is 2 months worth of seizures right now.
that said, I can
And I'm gonna tell you
promise you
something-
all... Hey,
Go
we'll
ahead.
get to that in a sec. I can promise you all I'm not at 100% here. I'm going to do my best. I will absolutely have gaps in memory and speech that will occur. The fact that I'm not stuttering right now is a godsend. So, let's get into this. Continue, Megan.
I need you to also yourself, if I'm trying to push past my PTSD with this stuff, I need you to take it in stride that you are a good DM. I
Debatable,
don't get
but
to say
thank
that
you.
for myself right now.
That bad.
I said, but thank you.
Don't give yourself a depreciation and then accept the compliment. Just accept the goddamn compliment.
But I like to send mixed messages.
Yes, and
Kind of
Not
fun
making turn
sometimes.
feral mother goblin on you.
I'm going to point out the entire start of the session.
I will. Feral goblin mother you.
For the sake of simplicity,
Hi.
the session question, again, one that surprisingly I don't think I've rolled before. We'll start with the visible camera order for now.
I will put my camera on just for a minute. I'm waiting for my phone to charge.
I understand.
It has to stay connected right now.
I understand.
It just had an update and it hates me.
I understand.
The phone
So.
said, oh, fuck you.
It just gave me the middle finger and then just said bye.
Bye-bye.
Given your character's current goals, whatsoever they may be, are they willing to risk the well-being of others in order to achieve them? We'll start that question with Angel then.
Depends on the situation. Because she had to risk Cosmo's life in order to bring him back. With that risk, there was no reward.
Yeah, kind of needed to get the demons off his ass.
Okay, same question for Violet.
But I want to say, if it comes to one person or the greater good,
The greater good.
the greater good.
Okay.
We'll bring that person back after we put the greater good through.
If you can.
Yes.
So,
No, usually we can. That's not the issue we're having.
God always has the ability to change that word to F. So,
I love that.
not that I want to refer to myself as God, because it feels gross, but DM, the arbiter of the story world. I digress. So, same question for Violet.
It would be circumstantial. If it had to be Ink or everybody else, it would be she puts them in a pocket dimension and then kicks everybody's ass. I mean, letting you know that. So, a little bit more of a dog situation. Loyalty is everything.
Mm-hmm. Given Avery's current goals, is he willing to risk the well-being of others in order to achieve them? You muted. Or at least not coming through.
He would make sure that the others are aware of the risk, and then let them decide if they're going to put themselves through that for him.
In other words, the word is absolutely yes, just not blindly. Cool.
Yes, exactly.
Sure.
But
It has
that's
to
what
be
else are we
sensible.
doing? We're putting each other through risk through adventuring.
You're adventuring past level
To help
20.
each other.
That question's just kind of a given for everybody, but I like the nuanced answers.
You have to give consent in order before I risk you.
Well,
It's essentially what you're saying.
Here's the thing, Joe. Are you willing to risk your pawn to save your queen?
Oh, yeah. Now, of course, there's not always time, caveat there with Amber, to give consent. Like, say, for example, there's an avalanche coming, you gotta throw the gnome across a chasm to make sure that they get to the other side safely. You don't really have time to be like, you okay with me throwing you? No, it's grab them by the scruff of their shirt and fucking...
We did that. We went into a
Vinistra
dragon.
said, back.
Welcome back.
If we're just staying alive, that's not what
If
I
it's
mean.
between saving Aiko and saving any of the party members, Avery's gonna choose Aiko every time.
Totally fair.
I'm letting you know, even Angel put Aiko first at one.
What was the question?
Well, I'm repeating the question when I get to every player anyway. So, given Piper's current goals, is she willing to risk the well-being of others in order to achieve them?
The well-being of evil people, absolutely willing to risk their well-being.
I think the well-being of others, I think the sort of underlying implication there is those close to you.
I'm trying to be funny here.
No, I get it.
It's on a case-by-case basis.
Also, yeah, we've had this conversation, haven't we, Amber?
It's a case-by-case basis. I had another thought process, but then I looked at the pink, and then suddenly...
That's what I thought. I saw you stop for a second, you look at your color, I was like, Amber, keep going.
Color.
It's all good. And then on to
Talk about
Bruce as well. Given Bruce's current goals, is he willing to risk the well-being of others in order to achieve them? Or it?
Teresa and his kids above all others.
That's why they live in the necklace right now.
Fair enough.
His angel's like, you would be dangerous if you had to choose between everybody else and them. We are
I don't need that question. I don't need that question. We can't play chess with you on the board right now.
In other words, then also on to Venestra. This is an interesting camera angle for Brick. In other words, on to Venestra. Why does my brain immediately, like, superimpose a toilet in place of where that computer chair is?
Is it weird that I think about, like, when people sniff their nose and have their nose up their thing like this, and they're just sitting there? It's like when I can't see. It's when I can't see.
Okay, my brain damage and or undiagnosed ADD kicked in. Anyway, so, Venestra, given whatever your current goals are you willing to risk the well-being of others in order to achieve that goal?
is typing, typing.
Absolutely.
Vinestra said, V is not going to risk the life of others to achieve her goal. She'll risk her own life, but not others.
Fair enough. And then, of course, on a similar vein, just for shits and giggles, is that answer the same for Amira?
Yes.
Cool.
God, I love the sarcastic sounding. Yes, it gives.
Okay,
Or
so I have a
not
question.
sarcastic, condescending.
Plot twist, Amira's
I
been the
do have a
BBEG the
question.
whole time.
I do have a question. Because Angel is more likely to toss herself into trouble because she can't willingly let the pawns even try. Would that mean that she's more
No,
likely to like throw herself into danger than put anybody else?
I mean, yeah, she would.
Yeah.
While everybody else is playing chess, she's playing Russian roulette.
No. She's playing 3D chess, not regular chess. This is 3D chess. It's got
Let's be
3
real.
levels.
Let's be real, she's a god. It's probably 4 or 5D.
That's right. She's like, I have to think of every possible problem.
I was about to say, bitch, I'm from Texas. Kind of
Bitch,
her
I'm from
attitude.
Texas.
Bitch, I'm from Texas.
Not overthinking everything. That's right. It's literally what it is. Sometimes people don't understand how much you have to work socially in Texas.
Jesus Christ, oh my god, the subtext culture is annoying as
I am
fuck.
great at the subtext culture.
I am not, and I hate it.
I know.
Which is why, according to Dusty's buddy, I may have a great time over in Missouri because they're less subtexty.
That's because it's called the Show Me State, Amber.
So what you're
Vinestra said, if there's subtext, what about Dom text?
Why did you just turn into Scooby-Doo for a second?
That's just Tumblr.
You almost killed me there, Vinestra.
Just saying.
Although if there's subtext and dom text, there's also switch text. To be fair.
I mean,
Technically, wouldn't Dom text just be more subtext? Same.
Dom text would arguably be directed subtext.
Yes, but directed subtext that leads to a far more pleasant
Dom
resolution.
text is the prompt text for the subtext.
I like this. I like that moment.
Just don't get too hung up on it unless you want to.
I just want there to be one person go, is this a sex thing? Is this no, I just want someone in the background. Right?
Most of the time, but not always.
Like music. Oh, I had that argument with like 2 other people the other day.
Ooh, you should tell me more about that later.
And in either case, if you get really deep into it, don't forget to breathe. So,
No, you need to breathe or you're never gonna get over.
or they won't.
That's also horrible. It's D&D. It's Dungeons and Dick jokes.
It's Dungeons and hold on, let me change the site that I'm streaming this to real quick. Okay.
I could make it so much worse, Joe. We read way too many romance novels for that.
We?
And I've been reading.
So far, still
romance
just
novels.
you. This thing is sitting almost untouched.
I'm going to let you know. Amber reads romance novels. Half of my family reads romance novels, and fanfiction.com is not a thing that is not used. Neither is Archive of Our Own. We like that.
I mean, there have been moments where I want to write a
No one needs to
fanfic
know
or
that I
two, just-
unfortunately recognized the latter most of those websites. So,
I'm also going to know that, Literotica's not a bad place either. So I'm just saying it.
welcome to Twitch, everybody.
I mean, it's helpful. Just watch your little sublines on what you're actually picking up.
Okay, anyway. The V's. The 3 V's.
Vanessa, Vincenzo, and Veronica.
No, Victoria.
Victoria.
She's Victoria.
Venestra, Vincenzo, and Veronica.
Victoria.
Fuck! Venestra, Vincenzo, and Victoria. Veronica is the ugly stepsister that everybody disowned.
I'm gonna put you this way. That child.
You're trying to kill me, aren't you?
Everybody thought she was nicknamed Cinderella, but her nickname was Salmonella, and everybody knew to give her a wide berth.
Amber, he's trying to speak to me. I know it.
No, I think he's trying to kill me, making me laugh so hard I cough. It's like, are you trying to give me an asthma attack, sir? Stop it!
I ripped it, really, I punch it.
God, my toddler all day long. Yeah. I like how it only goes fuck.
I have the full one as well, but
Vinestra said, fuck.
fuck.
Exactly. Anyway. Fuck, like a dog, screw, kangaroo, finger, and orangutan. Let's go to the zoo. Anyway.
Why? Yeah. Why is that a thing? Why do you learn these horrible things and then you put it in my brain and somewhere it comes out in the middle of the night when I can't figure out how to put it away?
I don't know where that came from. Little gremlin in the back of my head, probably. Not literally. Joke.
I'm just going to brain bleach it with flicking your bean.
I mean, have you watched Deadpool and Wolverine?
Hey Joe, can I have a little bit of brain bleed? Can we put a Yu-Gi-Oh clip on there so we can move forward?
Yeah, we haven't started D&D yet.
I know. I need brain bleach.
We've definitely been here. That was the perfect sound for the situation.
No, the other one. The other one, Joe.
I feel so very tempted to just keep you on the edge of your seat.
Please, Joe, please stop it.
Fine. All right.
That was so good. So good.
So, finally back on topic. It's been an hour and a half since I initially started the stream because my body has been fucked up and my brain's even more so. So,
Y'all start. I got
yeah.
I think it could be solved. if you had a
Venestra,
nice
Vincenzo, and Victoria.
Yeah. Like Victorious, like a TV show.
And Veronica, the abandoned ugly stepchild who is staring at the entire exchange from under the banister. So,
Veronica is the next B name I get to use with another Vistra's child. Don't ruin my life. I need that. Don't take it from me.
she may or may not have a glowing red gem on her chest. Code Veronica. So,
No. Oh, no.
If I recall correctly, Venestra was busy teaching them basic adventuring shit, and I'm trying to remember precisely what it was as I'm going to scroll back. Let's see here.
And also Mira was going to research the Rusted Peaks and their climate and all that. Yeah, cool. And that is what we kind of ended off on initially. So, yeah, with that, I'll have Amira go ahead and give me a nature check just to kind of, through research, ascertain that information.
And then, let's see, what specifically was she teaching him? I'm trying to scroll up and find it.
Vinestra said, V was teaching them etiquette and adventuring stuff.
Etiquette and adventuring stuff, that's right. Etiquette, I believe I already had you roll the charisma check for that. And as far as broad adventuring stuff, let's go ahead and split it into some major categories here. There's the exploration pillar, there's the combat pillar, and there is the intrigue pillar. So kind of those three, which of those things are you going to mainly be teaching them? Intrigue would be kind of perceptiveness, the ability to read people and places. The adventuring/travel pillar is going to be recognizing their environment, and then of course combat is self-explanatory.
Because even someone who hasn't necessarily picked up an adventuring class should at least know the basics about how the fuck to defend themselves.
28 for Amiris nature, and Vi would teach them in combat and survival.
Okay, great.
As well as how to be a decent person.
Okay, great. Combat and survival, and then etiquette. Go ahead and roll me a broad charisma check for good and decent personage. And then go ahead and give me I'd say give me a broad survival check for them there.
$24 for charisma, 33 for survival.
Okay. Yeah, no, solid instruction, especially kind of throughout the day that takes place. And as far as the information that Amira is able to get back to you, or in general get back, after doing some, basic, of course, map research, and honestly just general encyclopedia gleaming for information about the Rusted Peaks, with that 28, you would know that at least in terms of sort of weather and climate, despite the elevation and how naturally in most environments that would dictate, snowfall and freezing and things like that, more so it's broad-scale rain. The highest of the peaks, it's really fucking cold rain and hail, and then the farther down you go, the less cold and oppressive that rain and hail gets, and eventually kind of where you reach the foothills in sort of the level area for sort of the basic limiting range of that's going to be rains and mists, but for the most part it is liquidous precipitation and hail. There has been, oddly enough, not really much much record, if any record, of snow falling over that particular mountain range, leading to a lot, and I mean a lot of erosion, therefore exposing a lot of naturally red rock and a lot of metal deposits, hence the colloquial name it's been given in the Rusted Peaks. Rust and everything like that is pretty prevalent there. Just as well because their secondary export isn't just metal, it's salt. A lot of rock salt in those mountains.
We went there last season.
Yeah, even winters there, despite surrounding regions getting snow, are just cold fucking rain.
I'm going to remind the DM that we went there last season. We just didn't.
There was a brief dip there for what? Remind me.
One of the characters that we had that were here for a little while.
Remind me?
The dwarf that was a monk.
Glenn.
Oh. Yeah, that was so brief.
Yes, but that's where we're gonna land, is wherever the city there is.
Vinestra said, and any notable towns for us to get into trouble in?
The main sort of centralized town, let me pull up the Sable Hearth map here.
Butterfly in the sky. I'm gonna fly. Take a look.
Oh shoot, I have to finish pinning this, and then I was supposed to cast irons. Great.
Well, there are a number of sort of scattered and sort of like unnamed townships and villages around the Rusted Peaks. They are sort of scattered and unnamed as they are essentially kind of localized into sort of districts, slums, and sort of extensions off of the major city there of Wingstone. It is sort of a widespread city and subcity region, and it does kind of eventually sort of follow along the split of the river there with the Rund and the Lower Rund, though that will eventually kind of road off farther and closer toward the border with the at least village north of the Lower Rund in Solia. Yeah. For the most part, yeah, all of it is just blanket named Wingstone in that area. As far as trouble, I mean, given how close it is also to the border with Jihu specifically, I mean, you've got remnants of people trying to leave the conflict with the slavers there, and where there's people leaving conflict, there's often people wanting to take advantage. So that sort of volatility, especially now, might be expected.
Question, DM. Are the Rusted Peaks in the Dragonback Mountain the one that has just the big peak? It's literally like a dragon spine.
So Stylenhorde and the Silent Spire is a sort of singular mountainous formation much further north than the Rusted Peaks. As far as where the Rusted Peaks are, they are sort of south, if my directionality isn't fucked, southeast of that city.
You have a better map for that one than you did the other one.
Yeah, because that was the first completed country map that I made, and then you guys kind of left that
We were busy other places, Joe.
Which even then, I need to redo that map because the Whispering Fen no longer exists because you guys time traveled it out of existence.
It's not that we
Vinestra
time traveled.
said, we get a map.
It has a map. Wait, there is a map.
For that region specifically, let me pull it up, which actually, especially given this stage in the storyline, you guys would absolutely have access to it. So... which again, there are elements of this that need to be redone just because of changes that happened. But check the World Maps tab and World Info. It's going to be your first tab in the whole server. Yeah, that needs some redoing as well as some increase in detail and a bunch of stuff. But it's been a while. That was one of the. I made that. What 5? Actually, I made that more than 5 years ago. I made that. Yeah, I made
6
that
years ago.
6.5 years ago, actually.
That's right.
And of course, Mercast has since been renamed Mercast with a C, or almost Mercest, in line with being the city of mercy.
It's called Mercast. It's just a different way of saying it, Joe.
Yeah.
City of Mercy. It's no longer the City of Weird.
Yeah. And just northwest of that is Green Eye Crossing, the little town where everything started.
I mean, it's Town of Doom.
Hasn't been that in a long time.
Oh, Town of Doom. Apparently, Nicholas lived under that city for a long time.
But yeah, in terms of any active crime or anything, the Rusted Peaks, while it is Dwarven run and they are lawbringers first and foremost, just given how close they are to some pretty volatile borders, while it's not going to be as strong of a volatile place as just like even the townships that are much closer or even on those borders, it's not going to be the most stable environment right now. Hence, perhaps even some of the outgoing Dwarven delegation showing up in the first place for support and offering support in a few ways to try and maybe re-strengthen their foothold. In light of an ongoing war just outside of that border.
Cold.
But I'd say you're able to glean that information, and I'd say even with that research in mind, Amira would be able to procure a copy of that map alongside the one you guys already have available. And given that it was procured from an extra-dimensional space, it also comes with it a few missing changes that came with an alteration in the time stream.
Joe, you didn't say that the fen had disappeared. It just dried up.
It got a new name in its entirety. Basically, that whole area got reclassified. It's no longer even referred to as the Whispering Fen. Because the whole reason it had that name was the rumor mill around there being ghosts and death so prevalent in that area. And with what ended up happening when you guys time traveled back to kind of clean that area of the marks of its conflict, it ended up getting a completely different sort of name.
That's not... Okay. It's not what you said before, but okay. I'm really confused.
What did I say before? Because if I'm getting my facts wrong, then...
We the Fen hadn't disappeared. All the things that had happened. We're just maybe like one timeline over barely. Because that world died from Alkuf.
So it's still the Whispering Fen and still a leftover battlefield, just full of ghosts and conflict.
It's no longer full of ghosts. It's still the Whispering Fen. It's been purified.
Purified in recent memory or purified from before it even got the name Whispering Fen?
All the people purified from before.
I thought it was purified whenever we killed a Shret.
No, it was purified not because of just that. It was a dual thing. It was originally one-time stuff that happened where he took all of the ghosts out. And the leftovers that were healed because we still had that dragon underneath, that was later in the situation. It's barely one timeline over, from what Joe said.
Okay.
So it's called the Whispering Fen. It still has the name the Whispering Fen because they can't kill the name yet. It hasn't been changed yet.
Fully. It's more or less, people are still going to call it that.
It's a need to know basis situation at the moment. So
Yeah.
Partially.
On a consistent basis, again, like the whole reason it was even named that it was very inspired by the Dead Marshes, and it being an area where conflict constantly happened, and because of what the place is, barely anybody ever manages to recover bodies, so it just festers.
I'm just updating you on what you told me.
Okay.
And you keep going back and cycling. The brain is keep going like, no, that's not what you said before. So my brain is like, I can't compute anymore.
Like, that's not what you said.
Okay.
Sorry if you think I'm trying to rain on your parade, DM. I'm just reminding you what
No,
was said
no.
before.
This isn't me thinking that you're raining on my parade. Again, my brain, as we all know, is damaged and has episodes, so my ability to recall shit correctly gets a little fucking jumbled.
I was gonna say,
honestly, I feel like I'm average in the memory department. I probably would have forgotten if
this happened last
these
season.
kinds of facts also.
I don't forget because
It happened
Yeah, we know
relatively
you have
early
photographic
into
memory.
last season. So, probably like 4 years ago.
oh no, that's after Ren was born, right before we had Mia.
Yep.
And that's animal.
Yeah, so like 4 years ago, right?
Why do I?
No, Mia's not
Nope.
4.
2.5.
It's only 2. Isn't that?
Yep, it was 2.5 years ago because I remember because it was right before we had this one guy who was like, "Why are you trying to apologize for birthing a human?" Because that was the reason why we didn't have D&D and Megan.
Right. Okay. All right. Cool. All right, but either way, that information is generally gleanable, and now that also you have active possession of that map, it does lower your DC for any questions about stuff going on in that region, or at least stuff in relation to location there. The same goes for, of course, Angel, since you've had possession of a map of Sybil Hearth for a fucking hot minute. I believe it was like one of the first things you guys ended up buying, which...
I bought 6 maps of that actual. I have 6 different maps from 6 different time periods.
Yep.
One of them is actually from Nick.
Yeah.
Ah, there we go. Oh,
Riding the tails behind.
And if I recall correctly, at least as far as the precipitation rules, the last time you guys were even near the Rusted Peaks, it was daylight anyway, so... Yeah. And it doesn't rain there constantly, it's just that's really the only kind of precipitation that happens there.
So I think I might have gotten that wrong. Isn't there a mountain range on the opposite end of Sable Hearth that's in the upper corner?
Great timing with the phone call. Come on.
Yeah. It's great.
I think he realized, because now it's just a notification. All right. In the upper corner, there were the faded... Well, not upper corner, but...
Upper right-hand corner. Upper left-hand corner, sorry.
No, there wasn't a mountain range up there. There was a fairly large sort of separate kind of forest, which did stretch itself into North a bit, the Emerald Reach.
ow.
But otherwise, for the most part, both the Rusted Peaks and the Silent Spire were fairly massive, standalone mountains not directly attached to a mountain range, like the... Brain just turned right the fuck off.
What about this?
No.
Yeah,
I
the massive mountain range, which mostly separates Sable Hearth, Noroth, and Sunsmith from Someril and Banagal. I believe I referred to that as the Dragon's Spine mountain range.
It's the Dragon's Spine.
Yeah.
I think that was where he lived, was the Dragon's Spine.
Yeah, in that mountain range, which... That's fair. Which country you technically owed yourself to depended on which side of the mountain range you were on, but even then, for a lot of the people that live in those mountain ranges, particularly the dwarves, they consider it a region unto itself, since it is largely... It serves to be a wall between the others, but it is still largely beholden to where the border lines still are.
Did I do that?
Did I do that?
Damn it. Rick is stepping away for a bit. He still has his headset on. He's getting bid.
Yeah, I'm still here.
So walking away.
How does it feel to be like I do all the time because I have a laptop that apparently
It's
has
kinda
to
nice.
live on its charger?
I kind of wish it had a base station so I didn't have to just set it down connected to a loose cord, but...
Okay,
it's
my
alright.
dad butt dialed me and then called to apologize for butt dialing me.
What the hell?
What the hell?
Old people, am I right?
Not all old people, but yeah.
I mean, my dad just texts me, sorry, fuck that.
My grandma does that a lot.
To be fair, I'll butt dial people and then call them to apologize for butt dialing to them because the people I end up butt dialing are people that never check their text messages. So, yeah. I swear they're people that don't even realize they can get text messages.
Me and Rachel.
Oh no, it's not a complaint about Rachel at all. I've never called that phone number. I've texted quite a bit, but I have never called it. Well, either way, while teacher's instruction and some research is ongoing, which thankfully allowed me to lore dump a little bit. Let's go ahead and moon on over. What
Yes,
the
with
fuck?
Moon.
Move on over.
Move on over.
Vinestra said, moonwalk on over.
Nope, not.
My throat suffered trying to create that sound. It did not go well. But what's Piper up to at the moment? In the aftermath of especially last night's events, and again, for the most part, everybody is... Well, actually, I think everybody has started to leave the lunch table. While some other people are now kind of gathering equipment, trying to get things arranged, figured out, whatever have you. It's by and large a time for a cooldown.
I think she was supposed to talk to me correctly. I can't remember.
Talk to who? Repeat.
I think you were supposed to talk to me next, but I can't remember if we were talking about it. It's about your people or something like that.
My warlock.
Your warlock acting like an idiot. How do I fix this? Like those moments where Angel's like, I don't know. I make this up as I go along.
What the hell? Bro, why are y'all falling off? You dick! Ah!
Okay, back to Atticast 7th. Or sorry, Atticast 10th. Yes.
Give me a second, I have it written down. Because it's the same day as we did 3 days ago, right?
Yep. We ended in the middle of
So
that.
it's the 10th.
The 10th on the triple gibbous moons, which you guys will be dealing with tonight. Triple gibbous tends not to mean much, though some suspect that if all 3 moons are gibbous at the same time, people tend to overeat at night.
Don't start. I don't need to go get the 2 tortillas that are calling my name from the other room.
Nobody needs to, but the 3 moons are gibbous. It's a perfect excuse.
That's not how this works.
It's
So,
the justification that a lot of other people on the planet use.
How it works.
What do you know? Was literally probably rocking.
Downstairs with the strongest brewed coffee ever. Usually that is to signify to my angel. Help.
Woo!
What kind of help do you need?
It's the help coffee.
And what do you know?
Coffee.
It's an offer. She's offering me coffee. It's a coffee offering.
Which, of course, as a note, you are also 3 days away from the start of the festival of knowledge.
Yeah, we're supposed to stay for the festival of knowledge, then leave. It's the goal.
Have picked the wrong person to be my first warlock. I don't know why I've started to talk like this, but...
So you decided to pick a warlock?
Oh, listen, you already knew this, don't you remember?
I know we had this discussion, but I didn't know that you'd. Why do you say that they're the wrong person?
Well, you're supposed to be healing people,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, that's usually how it works. Usually.
Let's just say...
Vinestra said, healing people from the disease of life.
I will use that. Apparently, they misunderstood the assignment. I've decided to heal people from the disease of life.
Next holiday coming up after that is Atrit Contrari. What the fuck was that celebrating again?
What did you do?
What did I mean? Oh, she apparently didn't realize caffeine is the perfect insecticide.
So does vinegar, but you know, I digress.
I have decided she is going to spend 1 week per person she has killed in my realm, gardening, while learning from Cosmo, considering he's the one who does my gardening.
Yeah, we got him a pretty cushy job at that, considering he ended up being an partial. He's a dragon boy.
Ah, that's right.
Cool now. If anything, he kind of hoards my kittens. I don't fucking know why.
Well, now he just takes cool things. Like, he has weird collections now, so I get letters that literally say, send me this.
Atric Contrari signifies the start of summer, and it's basically Woodstock.
I don't know if he has decided that he needs to hoard my clippings because he, like, you know, my failed clippings. I guess besides the point.
Vinestra said, I too should find a warlock.
Kind of warlock.
But anyway, apparently, so yeah, she has killed, for what we know total, I will ask Cosmo later, 57.
57 cases of second-degree manslaughter.
But she's working it off because she ruined my reputation. Already.
Oh, I have, she looks over it. I've only got one spring baby. I've only got one Orwayne baby. We're gonna use this. That was a mistake.
You mean?
Looks over it.
Piper's gonna see the babies.
She's gonna whistle to the necklace. She literally named him Gawain. After Orwayne. Gawain.
Which one was Gawain again?
He is the only child she's had with the growth fae.
Dude.
Walker is the fae of the spring court, so cool.
One child with Walker, but that's not Gawain.
Yeah. Gawain pops out. What was Gawain again? Just brain doing things. What was he physically?
Oh, hold on. He's supposed to be like almost like a nymph. What is the male version of a nymph?
Still a nymph, I'm pretty sure.
But he's full, like, deity child version of that. Like, archfey version of the child of that, like...
Yeah. And he was aging like a child, right? Or was he adult when he came out?
He fluctuates, because he's growth.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
you know what? Given that he's growth and it's the tail end of spring pretty much at this point, like the last week or so of it, he pops out looking like he's in a huff. Actually, the last 2 weeks or so.
Don't get grumpy. It's not a grumpy day.
I'm all about growth, and the season that's about new growth is starting to not be new. So I'm starting to switch from child to adolescent, and we're gonna get into adult mode here in a sec. It's not gonna be. Do I look old enough for coffee yet?
You are going to be cycling every year until you find your person. That is
Do
what.
I look old enough for coffee yet?
No, you don't.
I did this twice already.
I know, but I'm going to make you even more upset. So, Piper, would you like to repeat what you just said?
I'm gonna repeat it verbatim what I just told Piper. Or Angel. Trust me when I say this, I wish I was joking.
Sugar Plum Fairy, who's been experimenting with your coffee, has basically been giving caffeine heart attacks and caffeine overdoses. From the sounds of it.
I told her to go heal people. Apparently that translated somehow to give people coffee beans when the coffee beans themselves aren't healing. They just give you a nice buzz.
They
Oh,
do
so
if you're
it wasn't even her killing people with caffeine. It was caffeine in lieu of medicine.
Yeah.
So I was gonna offer you a little bit of way to blow off your steam is to teach the person how to grow things without ruining the coffee beans that we spent 2 years on.
Do you want me violent, or do you want me forcing myself to grow up a few years and exercise my nymphiness?
Which one will be more productive?
I didn't know I
Would you like to start with one and then go to the other?
That's like 7 different layers of problematic, if I do it that way.
I mean, technically, she's being 17 different layers of problematic, so...
Right, I don't intend... There's a certain type of thing that would still lean toward that is a line I don't want to cross.
I am offering it to you because you are a child.
I'm also not. And I am. And I'm not. I'm in flux, and I'm telling you that even for me, a fae, it sounds a little fucked.
Technically, no. But yes. But no.
I just want you to question this fairy's intelligence. Test her, please. Make sure she's just dumb and not willfully ignorant.
I'm gonna go with going older then and do the positive route.
Okay. Actively grows older, grows taller. This being the, 3rd year he's had to deal with this, he's notably physically toned in his adult state.
Yeah, I know.
And where normally, especially with excessive muscles, you would see sort of vascularity, you see under the skin just basically long, thorny vines bulging out where veins normally would be.
You have my full permission to do what you need to. You complaining about being angsty and not, as long as you go to your classes in the morning, you're fine. Take your knob with you.
How much time distortion is up around your warlock, Piper? How much time distortion is up around your warlock, Piper?
None. Except the material plane standards, because fuck the time fluctuations.
I'm gonna need you to slow things down for her.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that, but I'll try.
I need you to flex your vibe check muscle.
You can slow time in your own space. Your own court.
But I haven't done it yet.
Ooh, I want to give her advantage. I believe in you, Piper. You can do this. And she's like, and you can see it's like the most I'm tired mom.
Is that advantage or is that a bardic inspiration? Are you going to use that?
Inspiration. And she's just like, this is the most tired bardic inspiration.
I needed that bardic inspiration because originally that was a 4.
Add a d12.
I'm gonna let you know. She puts her hand on your shoulder and she's like,
with the inspiration die I used.
And she puts her hand on your shoulder. I believe in you, Piper. You can do it. I'm letting you know. You see like a little bit of starting of bags under Angel's eyes because she's been up for too long.
Plus 20 plus, let me roll that d12. I rolled one of my inspirations for once in a blue fucking moon, because fuck that for 8. So 19 plus 20 plus 8. Fuck that.
Okay. 47. With a 47 for your total. You close your eyes, start to think very heavily about your breathing, instinctively using that almost as a means of trying to keep track of time and, at least for your own perception, distort it. Without realizing it fully while your eyes are closed, as you get into this state of meditation, the rest of you witness Piper suddenly leave the material plane. Your foot, once on stone flooring, now finding themselves on unfamiliarly knotted wooden flooring, though still so very focused in that you barely take much notice of it. With every breath you take, experimentally oscillate between hyperventilation, keeping track of how many breaths you can take in what you perceive to be a second, to slow, methodical, and meditative breathing, and eventually, much like the wind rustling through the trees, in these trees here in your realm, that last long meditative breath sounds like it moves, like wind, through grass, trees, and everyone else here. Before, in a singular moment of focus, like a sealed dome of time, around a new warlock of yours currently farming at the coffee beans, that slowed and steadied moment of focus seems to only surround her immediate area of influence. Inadvertently, speeding up her productivity in the farm, though notably for her, the passage of time for her day's work will take quite a while longer to get through.
Well, that's fucked.
And this is
Good
where,
job.
wandering through that steady breathing, Angel's son, in his nymphy, fully grown nature, shrinks his physical proportions down to that of a fairy and speeds off toward the bubble.
That's what we do.
That's hilarious and awful.
You're welcome.
Or I just snap back to...
So why was Piper meditating?
I
To
have
try and use some temporal distortion in her area of influence. She is trying to slowly turn into an archfey. With that comes some ability to manipulate time in small pockets around your domain.
Got it. And when she did that, she just poof.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Now, unfortunately, you find that you can't will yourself back and have to step through the tree. But nonetheless, that does take maybe a minute or two to happen.
Nobody who can help me is here.
Nobody?
I'm stuck now. I am stuck now. I can't plane walk.
You have ascending stone or something like that, right?
Wait. Is she connected to Avery?
Not
Don't
through a
think it's
different.
gonna matter. I'm in the Feywild. You're in the material rig.
Yeah, but maybe you could like give instructions on how we can get you back.
Vinestra said, need Vi to pick Pippa up.
Yes, Finestra, be a taxi for the Pipper.
Hold on. Let me out my ear.
Payphone.
Yeah, it was bothering my ear. No, Piper is going to gonna find Cosmo and borrow his payphone because I already used my call for the day. Wait, no, I didn't. Shit, no, I haven't. Never mind. I'm gonna call somebody on my payphone. Gonna call Angel.
I'm letting you know she's
Anyone else in the
halfway.
party has one.
She looks up at you halfway through a tortilla. Hello?
I'm stranded.
Fuck.
I locked myself out of my house and my keys are inside of the house.
I can only tree destroy twice a day.
I know, but it's like cleaner. I'm at my house.
Let me go get Frisia. Hold on, let me go get Frisia. Hold on. I'm doing Frisia.
But
Can you go get your sister from the Feywild, please?
when did what? Don't want to usually like go with her and
Poop herself, but she can't.
Did that Feywild? She did the Feywild poofy thing. She can't do it without an animal form yet to poop back.
she did it. This is why early on you don't split your disciplines so that you have the magical wherewithal to be able to cast spells on yourself so that shit like this doesn't happen. But I'll be back.
Just keep talking like that and the medical person's gonna pull out her needles. You already know this.
She's my sibling by blood. Don't you tell me how I can and can't talk about my sister.
Of a different sex now, thank you.
I may be a different sex. It does not change the fact that we are still siblings, and I am obligated by nature of that to be a shit to her. So.
It's also get out.
Also, unlike her splitting her disciplines, I chose to just dip my toe fucking crotch deep into druidry, so I'll be back.
Yep. Wait, why did we go to my sister or my brother? What? Why? What about Piccolo?
There was also the offer from
Bother him in the
Breen
middle
just
of
turned
handling
off from Benestra as well. To go pick
I
her
would
up.
have offered, but I don't know where Benestra is at the moment because Benestra was taking care of Victoria and Vincenzo. I don't know if they're back in the kitchen right now. Angel's currently snacking because she's pregnant still.
I'd say it's been like reasonably enough of like a lunch hour at that, probably like a dinner hour at that point for those kids. Because again, even the conversations you guys were having were taking a number of passable hours, even just for the one-on-one conversation. So I'd say it's reasonable that Finestra would be back at this point.
Okay. Well, Angel would probably be cooking dinner and kick out Frisia anyways.
Oh yeah. You could just have Frisia show Finestra where it's at.
Hey,
Like-
Benestra, Frisia.
I was trying to sleep in as much as I could, so do you need me to show you are big?
Quit being overly impressed. You're married.
Calling freezer.
There could be a discussion about a throuple, that's all I'm saying.
I'm going to literally flick the tip if you don't leave.
Which tip?
Prepare.
Okay, let me...
From the Fae phone. Which tip do you fucking think, you dingus? You're
I
thinking
don't
of your
know,
head.
it's Angel. It could be my earlobe, it could be my elf tips, it could be my...
You're thinking with the wrong head. That's what the tip she's meaning.
Look, I only recently had ownership of this head. I've had ample time to explore it, and it's been incredibly fun.
3 years. Almost 3 years.
3 years,
now.
yes, we are also Eladrin. 3 years is like a week to us.